Hello and welcome back to the Cunningham Custom Engines YouTube channel. I'm your host, Travis Cunningham. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year everybody who's been watching. 2026 is going to be awesome for us, hopefully for you too. I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching the last video. It's already at 2,200 views and 100 likes. And the subscribers, we hit our goal of 200 by the end of 2026 or 2025. We're already at 225, I believe. So if you haven't subscribed, please do that because I'm trying to push for the 500 before the season starts. Get this thing monetized so we can help buy tires and stuff. And in this episode, we got these three heads lined up. And this one's the latest update of the ports that I've been talking about. Latest update for the porting. And then these last two are from like the early 2010 era, back when the rules were a little bit different. I'm going to show you all the differences, mainly in the intake ports. There's a lot of exhaust ports too. But this one's basically juiced up to make about 750 horsepower, and these ones would struggle to make 700, probably closer to the 670, 680 range. I'm just going to show you all that, and then I have a seized barrel valve from that new injection we bought. It's not seized anymore. I got it unseized, and I show you how to do it and take apart a barrel valve, and it's pretty easy, so you don't have to send them back anymore, and maybe do it yourself. That's what I'm trying to do here, trying to teach people how to do stuff yourself, so hopefully you don't see as many cars retiring at the end of next year and stuff, because I hate seeing that. Anyway, so this is episode 5. Thanks for watching, and here we go. And here are the heads. This one here is off a motor I bought. It was an old Gertie for Brett Mann, built in the early 2010s. I think it was 2010. And this one has the Gertie port job. There's some damage. YouTube says people like carnage. You animals. There's some carnage for you. I'm explaining that in a different episode. But anyway, here's the Gertie head. Intake port, exhaust port. This is from the earlier rules before they changed them in 2014. And then this one was direct from Brodix in 2008. And these have been going since then. I literally ran them last year. These are the heads I've been running the last 2 years. Won the B main at the Sprint Car Nationals with these babies. Pretty nice head. And then these two are a good example of pre-rule update. The rule update came in 2014. And a lot of it was on the intake side. The exhaust side's always been pretty open, but the intake side read you could only really play with the front of this port here. This is where you could play with all this opening here. And you could touch up to the beginning of the A. If the little bit of the letter A got touched, it was no big deal. But there's basically no porting. And there's a 215cc rule on the intake port. But engine builders are way smarter than that, and all the porting guys just started acid porting them and making them look just like that, but they'd be way bigger inside. So we got ours from Ron's Porting back in the day, and when we ordered ours, there was an option to go bigger than the 215 cc's, and he was toting how he would get them through tech all the time and all that kind of stuff, which is, it was easy to do because like people that make the rules are always dumber than the engine builder. So like if you make a rule, we're going to get around it, no problem. So in 2014, they updated the rules and basically said you can kind of touch the logo in some spots, but basically free game. And that is the difference. This is your newest updated port on the intake, CNC everywhere. You're allowed to brush the logo, but they do a good job not touching it. That's pretty much the only rule these days is logo's got to stay. Top and bottom. So instead of teching the stuff, they just opened it up. And this is where we're at. They did toss heads last year at the Knoxville Nationals off Scott Bugacki, or that might have been 2 years ago now. They never said why. I'd love to see how carved up they were. Because they must have been pretty carved up. The logos had to have been touched. But One Way does a good job. These are legal as hell these days. But I just like to show you the difference. 2010. 2025. In my opinion, I think it's cool, but Does make it more money. And these are awesome. And like I said earlier, oh, and one more thing I want to show you. And because of the more openness on the intake side, I've set this vernier here to the old exhaust port. And because we can suck so much air, it is a lot bigger now. So these heads, like I say, can probably make $750 if you really want to push it. I'm going to be trying to make closer to $715, but for a long time and on a safe tune-up, but keep it a little more drivable. That's just me. But these ones, when we dyno them, were $680. Like I say, I ran them the last 2 years. They still run good. Still run them at the short tracks, no problem, once it gets slick. If you have a set of these, definitely don't throw them away. Because we need cars, not people retiring. This day and age, especially with re-race, you got to decide, like, do you want to spend as much money as a Busch team, or do you want to race? Me, personally, I want to race. So we're not going to spend as much money as a Busch team. And we do a lot of the stuff ourselves. That's how you do it. But if you want to watch TV and not work, I guess you got to retire. This is the Gertie head. Very similar to the Brodix port. And I had a lot of good run with these, like I said, in the Knights of Thunder days. In the COVID years, I ran these, but 2023 we freshened her up. And the first time, I never really dyno my stuff, which is dumb, but I usually break them in at like a short track where you can do the throttle control stuff. I tried to break this one in a Nush weekend and didn't work out. So there's the differences in the ASCS heads. Most of it's right here in the rules. Full CNC. These are technically unported, is how they would be back. You would say back in the day. That's why, in my opinion, if you have something, you got to be able to tech it. So that's how a lot of rules got. Like even the 358 modifieds around here, the costs are crazy these days, and I'm going to make a video on how that happened. A lot of unnecessary money spent, and it's all because people don't want to tech. But there's the ASCS cylinder head updates from the early 2010s till now in the rule updates. And then just one more thing I wanted to show you when if you're buying a used motor or used heads, this is what you look at, these two holes. And you can see the difference in this from the deck to the hole. This one's angle milled, but you want to see that thick. You want lots of material left. Look at this one from the Gertie I bought. Hammered down, nowhere to deck. So like this one is either I'm going to have to weld it all up, or it could be pretty much scrap. But not very many people fix heads anymore, so I might try to learn how to do it myself one of these days. But if you're buying heads, look right there. These ones, there's no more room left to deck on them. Stuff to watch for. New Year's Eve afternoon, we're in the shop. Shootout, Christmas tradition. Tulsa shootout. We got some work going on. Working on the injection. And then we got Varsol Boy back in the bin.
Yep, Varsol Boy.
Just cleaned the head bolts, now he's on the main studs.
Yep.
He's doing a great job. Now he's following me with the camera.
Yep.
Oh. New Year's Eve shop day. So what better? Woo! What else you got to do? And this is what I'm working on. The injection I bought. The barrel valve. A little bit tight. Thought leaving her in some WD would free her up, but it does move if you give her some force. But I'm going to rip it apart and free it up. So there's the barrel valve, all apart. There's the culprit. Rust. Always marvel Mr. Arrow or WD-40 or barrel valve after every race. Where this happens. Serious neglect happened here. But that's why we got it so cheap, but we're going to let it live in some WD and get it freed up. Happy New Year, everybody. Just here at 6:30, working on my Siezed barrel valve. Almost got it. Had to break out the rod vise to hold it nice. There's definitely not much involved in a barrel valve. Just those lines, cap, or 2 fittings, and this shaft, but it's rusted in. Little heat, it was already starting to move. And we'll get it out. And success! Hard to see, but a bit of rust in there. And clean it out with some Scotch-Brite and cleaning it up. Naked barrel valve. Here's the rusty shaft. This is why. There we go, come on, focus. Well, it's not focusing, but that's why as soon as the season's over, you blow out your alcohol from the barrel valve. And if you're planning on not racing in a while, it's even more important. TC's tech tip of the day. Don't be lazy. And there we go. Operation Free Up the Barrel Valve complete. I just like showing this to people because that took less than an hour. And if I would have had this O-ring, it would have been back together, because if your barrel valve's leaking, it's probably just a squished O-ring. That thing's cooked, cracked. There's why your barrel valve leaks. Don't send it back to, just take it apart and change it yourself. It's probably just, I know it's just a normal number O-ring. Just call up Kinsler, whoever does your stuff, get the O-ring number and change it. That's why your barrel valve's leaking, an O-ring like that, because these things are simple. This is all there is to it, other than the lines on the bench over there that go to the nozzles. And then, I just love how simple sprint cars are. There's our throttle control. There's idle roughly, and then when you open up into the slot, you're wide open. Simple Simon. Sprint cars are the best. And that's going to do it for this episode of Cunningham Custom Engines. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. Like the videos. Comment. Tell your friends. We're getting real close to that 500 subscribers. To get this thing monetized, that'd be amazing. And let's just keep this thing rolling. It's going to the moon so far, and I hope it keeps rocking. Thanks for watching. See you next time.